What's going on, family? It's your boy Mike the Businessman with another video for you guys. Alright, so I'm addressing the video that you guys constantly request. Alright, so everybody keeps asking me, how does insurance work with car rentals? Alright, so I'm going to be discussing that in this video. Pardon the background and all of that. I'm in a hotel room out of the country. I just figured I promise to put out content, and I'm starting to get in that groove. Once it comes to mind, shoot it. Don't overthink it. Don't make things ain't got to be perfect. I'm just going to be dropping the heat as it comes to mind. So I promise to make this video. Here it goes, right? So I'm going to walk you guys through the progression, right? So I'm going to try to meet you guys where you're at. Some of you guys are still in your infancy. You haven't started. This is still an idea that you guys are exploring. I'm going to explain how the insurance coverage works in that situation. For people already on platforms like your Turo, Get Around Hire Car, I'm going to briefly just touch on how you're protected in those situations, and then also private rentals, okay? And your options, your best options there. So let's jump right into it. All right, guys. So for those of you guys starting out, or if you are already on some of these ride sharing or car sharing platforms, basically the insurance is afforded by those platforms. Okay. So say for example, you're on a platform like Turo. Turo is partnered with Liberty Mutual, and so Liberty Mutual actually underwrites the policy, right? So they actually provide the insurance to cover your vehicle if anything was to happen. So pretty much the way that works is once you're onboarded onto their platforms, you will be presented with options, coverage options that you could choose anywhere from, if you want to be what they call a commercial host, where you handle the insurance aspect of it. Maybe you're self-insured or you have commercial insurance. Then you're handling all of that directly with the renters, and in that case, you keep majority of your sales, right? So they don't take as much money from you. I believe it's 90 or 95% that you get to keep, and then they take the rest. And they have different tiers, right? Like a 90% tier, 80%, where you keep 80% of your money, any rental income, all the way down to, I think it's 60%, all the way down to the income, all the way down, 60% of your income that you earn from rentals. The only difference between those tiers is how much coverage they afford you, right? So say you're doing the 90% where you want all your bread, then they're not covering anything. You're handling insurance. If you dip down to the 80%, it's a higher deductible, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 deductible that you guys have to pay out of pocket before they now kick in and cover external damage to your vehicle, all the way down to, they have different tiers like I mentioned, all the way down to, I think, the 60% plan, where they will cover the exterior of the car if it was a collision, or certain things as far as the interior of the car, like some certain level of wear and tear, so to speak. You maybe scuff your rims or whatever, a renter messes up something in the inside of your car, then they may cover that. So depending on the what's in the language of the contract, of the insurance contract. So you are covered, so to speak, with these platforms. So you don't have to worry about your car when you're on this platform. Now, how quickly they pay out, and if they pay extra things like, depreciation, loss of use, that all their nuances between the different companies. But rest assured, your car is covered, okay? If you truly indeed suffered a loss, they will cover you, right? So that's not a problem, and that's across the board with Turo, Get Around Hire Car, okay? I don't want to go in depth with those companies discussing that. You guys can actually go to their websites and then actually just look at their insurance plans, or if you guys are already in my program, I've broken all of this down thoroughly. You guys can see that, consume that, and go from there, right? Now, what I want to discuss specifically is those of you guys that now want to, maybe you're working in what I call hybrid mode, you're doing some apps, and then you're also doing private rentals, or you're going fully private rentals. How does that work? Okay, let's discuss that. All right, so there's an insurance company out there, well, it's a technology company out there, and that's what I'm excited to discuss with you guys, that is now accepting that risk. Okay, these guys have seen this void in the market where there's a lot of people jumping in. I keep saying this to you guys, like, this is the best time ever to be in the car rental business, because now the opportunities are endless. It's still, so to speak, ground zero, and it's building up, right? These tech companies that are driving this movement, like your Turo, all of that, right? They've really introduced a lot of people into this business, and now a lot of them too are now starting to, as they mature in that process, they're starting to get into private rentals, understanding the nuances of that, and now able to make more money, right? So these tech companies are leveraging on that. They're seeing this opportunity. You can't deny it. And I am predicting boldly here that very soon the major players out there, like your State Farm, Allstate Farmers, all these big insurance companies, they will also start to embrace this risk. The same way it took them a long time to catch on to the Uber wave. But now majority of those companies now offer policies for ride-sharing drivers, people that drive Uber and stuff like that. It took them a while, but then they caught up. And I predict that the same thing's going to happen with private rentals, right? They see that people now want to be able to make money on their cars. Maybe say you're out of the country, you're out of town. Why just let your car sit when you can run the car and make extra money? Or regardless of whether you want to do that as a side hustle, you should have the right. It's your car to do that. Granted, there's some nuances with finance companies, depending on which finance company or whatever. But I think that's just temporary. Eventually, they would have to play ball. Okay, so that's my bold prediction. And so companies like this one I'm about to present to you guys have recognized that trend, that emerging trend, and they're tapping in right now. And I applaud them for that. Okay, company is called Lula, Lula. So Lula is a tech company, it's Lula Technologies, right? But they are backed by an insurance company called United Insurance Services or something like that, right? And so United is the one that's actually writing the policy. But Lula basically is going to cover your vehicle. It's a commercial fleet insurance policy, right? So all of you guys want commercial insurance? Bam, here it is. You get a commercial fleet insurance policy that will cover your vehicle while it's being used for commercial purposes, right? So strictly business use, right? So either the car's out on a rental or engaged in business activities regarding your rental company. So you're taking your car out for a delivery or bringing it back from a rental, or you're taking your car to a car wash. It has to be business related activity. Then they will cover. Not if you decide to go out on a date night or go to the movies in your car. They're not going to cover you then. They specifically even say that then you need to keep personal insurance on your car if you intend to do that kind of activity. So then have a personal policy, so your personal policy will cover in those situations. So for Lula, what they want ideally is that the vehicle is registered in your business name, so you guys can easily just have your LLC. That's why I always talk about starting this off right. And then you have the company, you have your an LLC for your business, and then you're buying your cars in your business name. And so it'll be your business name and your personal name on there, and that way you're easily able to get insurance. They're not going to turn you away if you don't have that. Just reach out to them, discuss with them. They'll make exceptions for you guys, but that's what they want. So it needs to be business use only, and then they will bind that policy. And the reason why I like these guys is they're fast, they're quick, right? So like you want to get your car on there, you basically just sign up for an account, and I'll drop the link here. You guys use my link because you guys actually are able to get I think a free month or something. They give you guys something for signing up with my link. So sign up with the link, sign up with my link in the bio, and these guys will get you onboarded in no time. What I love about them too is how you're able to grow it. So adding a car is so easy. It's just going into the portal, put in the vehicle information, and then give it 24 hours, and then they will approve the car. Now, requirements before you can put your car on there, very important, guys. Okay, so these guys obviously want to limit their risk. So it's cars less than 75,000. Okay, that's the max. And they don't want certain cars, like high-risk cars that even I don't even rent those types of cars out. They don't want your Hellcats, Chargers, crazy cars like that. Those cars are prone to, getting into accidents 100%. I mean, even in private rentals, I don't want a Hellcat. I don't want one in my fleet. Nah. Those of you guys that have the balls to do it, I applaud you. I'm not going there. Just I have too many horror stories. It never ends well. So they don't want those risks either, right? So those types of vehicles, also they don't want certain cars that are too expensive to replace or repair. They don't want Porsches. They don't want like your Maserati Ghiblis type of cars. Even if you bought it less than 75,000 or a BMW i8 type stuff, no. But if you have like your basic luxury cars, your Mercedes, BMWs, the basic sedans, SUVs, economy cars, all day, every day, they love that. Okay, they'll take that risk immediately. So literally, once you upload everything, they just need your VIN number, any lien holder information, mileage on the car. Now, with mileage, you have to be less than 120,000, I believe is the cap. They want the cars less than 120. If the car is above 120,000, they can still approve it. You just have to reach out to them, and then they'll send it to the underwriters for approval. They will ask you certain questions, ask you to submit maintenance documentation, stuff like that. They would even check on the back end. They want to make sure that this car has gone through some maintenance, it's in good condition. Then they will take on the risk. Actually, I had a car uploaded on it that had 175,000 miles, and I had to speak to the underwriter, and they approved it eventually, right? So I just had to show that it had been fully maintained, and it was ready to go. So that's not a problem. But ideally, try to get cars less than that threshold, and you guys are good. Okay, so once you put all that information in there, you just hit submit. These go within 24 hours. Your car is active, okay? So it doesn't get active the second you hit submit, but it hits underwriting, and then if everything checks the boxes, they will approve it within 24 hours. And you'd see on the portal, you get an email confirmation saying your car is ready to rock, and you guys can start renting this stuff out. As far as the coverage on the car, like I said, it's covering the rent. It's covering it whenever it's on a rental. So you need to make sure you have the right documentation. That's why I always preach, right? You guys having rental software or rental agreements, things like that, right? So you never skip these steps, because if there was a claim, they want your rental agreement, okay? They're going to want a rental agreement, any police reports, stuff like that. But it all starts from the rental agreement. And I've made videos on that. You guys need to go into those videos, go watch what you need to have for your rental agreement, the different clauses you should make sure you have in there. I even have a link where you can get a rental agreement. You guys should tap in, get all of that stuff there. But if you check all the regular boxes, they will cover you. There shouldn't be any issues getting your claims covered. I haven't heard any bad press about Lula and paying claims, so that's why I really love them so far. So for those of you guys, especially if you guys are running an economy car play, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for you guys. It's quick, it's easy, no stress. They will boom, boom, boom. It's in the portal. They'll give you insurance cards. They put in the glove box for your renters. They also offer 24/7 roadside assistance that comes with their plans automatically. So it's a really good package that they're providing for us, right? Now, if your car is also, like if you're running hybrid mode, like I preach in my course, right? When your car is being run on Turo or any of these platforms, Lula doesn't cover those situations, okay? That's where you now leverage Turo's insurance, okay? So don't be filing a claim on Lula if you had an accident on Turo, okay? You can't be double dipping, okay? So this is strictly private rentals. That's when they'll cover you. So they'll cover it while it's out on a rental. They'll cover it if, say, it gets in a wreck while you're taking it to go get washed or for a delivery, something related to your business, okay? Or finally, if at your location, say you have a warehouse or something, if there's any damage or something that happens to the car there, okay, it'll cover. Now, as far as your coverage limits, like I said, they go up to 75,000. They have deductibles. So for your collision, meaning boom, hits a car, your car hits another car, it's $1,000 deductible. Okay. So you have to pay the first 1,000, and then they will pay the rest of the claim. And then the second thing is if it's comprehensive, say hail damage, theft, stuff like that. So comprehensive coverage, the deductible is 3,000. Okay, so don't forget those two numbers. All right, so be mindful of that. That will be how much you have to cough out of your pocket to get them to pay for the claim. So in those situations, you would now press the renter to cough up the deductible. All right, to cover that loss. Okay, so that's pretty much in a nutshell how Lula works. So guys, if you tap into this product, you're covered. You don't need anything else. All right. I know there's other companies out there, but they're just so convoluted to sign up. They ask you for 3 years of loss history, and just the application process is almost 4 or 5 pages long. It just drowns you. Like, don't even bother. There's even one out there that only covers you in between rentals. Say if your car is listed on Turo, and you have a renter, and then the rental is over. So between the time, that time and when you have the next rental, they call it period X. They cover that period of time while maybe you're driving into a car wash or it's parked in your warehouse. That's the only time they want to cover. They're not going to cover it for personal use. They're not going to cover it if the car is rented out privately. Then that doesn't help us, right? We don't need that. No, we want something that's covering our cars fully if we're running it for private rentals. And Lula, I believe, for you guys is the best solution. Now, pricing wise, don't quote me on all of this. You go reach out to them, go to their website. But if you have 3 cars or less, and I think 3 cars is like the minimum. 2 to 3 cars is the minimum. They started me off with 2 cars. So 2 cars I would say is the minimum, because I know that's what they did with me. They started off charging me $130 a month per car. And then as you get more cars, I believe they want you up to 6 or 7 cars. Then the price drops; it goes down less than $100. So the way people do this, right? So how do you recoup that cost, right? Every month, you pass it on to the renter. Okay, I have some of my mentees that charge renters $30 per day for insurance coverage, or you can do it per week. Whatever it is, you structure an amount you want to charge for the insurance, and then pass that on to the renter. Okay, that's the best way to do it. Okay, I kind of just add it to the lump sum, to the cost, so I simplify things. But you can do it however you want. I know people doubling, making a bag on the insurance end of it. Because there are a lot of renters out there, good renters, but they just don't have insurance. Okay, so you can make some money off of that. After all, if you went to Hertz, Avis, or whatever, they sell you over the counter insurance. So people are used to paying that. You can do that with Lula. Okay, so pass the cost on to the renter, and you guys are good. I mean, you're only paying about $130 something per month. Break that down per day. Divided by 30 days in a month. It's barely, it's a few dollars per day or whatnot. So pass that on to the renter, okay, and make some money off of it. Why not? Okay, so I really think that you guys should be using this platform. It's amazing so far. Every interaction I've had with them, they respond back. They're really nice people. Now, some other things you need to be mindful of, right? Before you go out there to go buy cars and you start throwing cars on it, they won't take salvage titles. They won't take rebuilt titles. They will not take them. Okay, they won't. And here's another thing too, guys. When you run your VINs on Carfax or what is the other one? AutoCheck. Sometimes they don't truly tell you whether that car is actually a salvage title. Okay, so before you buy that car, reach out to the underwriters at Lula. They go with a black book database. They have a different database they use to pull up the true condition of that car, and they'll let you know if it's a salvage title or rebuilt title car. Okay, a lot of these dealers, they have ways they use to get around a lot of that stuff, or these guys selling cars on Facebook Marketplace, they have ways, creative ways of hiding the condition of the title. They'll even lie to you sometimes. I've been lied to, and they told me it was a clean title. I bought the car, I went to Lula, and they swore it was a salvage title. And eventually I had to go back to that dealer, and the dealer was forced to give me back my money. Okay, so you guys just be mindful of that. And like I said, the mileage limit too, right? Keep it less than 120,000, you're good. Okay, it's between 120 125,000. Just keep it less than there, and you're 100% cool. Lula will take the car. And that's really it. Those are and also avoid those red flag cars, like I mentioned earlier. Those muscle cars, really fast cars, and cars that are too expensive to fix. They don't want that risk. Okay. So guys, I hope this video helped. You guys should really tap into Lula. Click the link below. Sign up. Let me know your thoughts too. If you guys have already ran Lula, you've been using it. Have you had any good experiences? Have you had any bad experiences? Put it in the comment. Let's know. Let's learn from each other. Also, if you know of any other companies out there maybe that are springing up that you think maybe I should review, go test them out, put it in the comments. I want to hear. I want to find out. Let's make this interactive. I hope this video helped. Don't forget, guys, click the notification button so you know when I put out these videos. Subscribe, like the video. Let's create some engagement. That's what makes me want to take some time out and make these videos for you guys. Okay, so appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on the other side of success.